Three men disappear from a lonely island. Hundreds more lose control of their own bodies. Caught between storm winds and hysteria. What connects them? Maybe nothing, except the feeling that something else was in control. Grab your drink and join us. This is Killer Hangover Podcast. Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of season 2. I'm Bettina, the mother. I'll keep you dancing through the weird, the wild, and the what the heck just happened.
I'm Beth, the daughter. You said it so dramatically. I bring the storms, the spirits, and just enough chaos to keep things interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so a few housekeeping things before we start this episode.
Okay, I thought we
Mom.
started.
Mom looks very confused. No, I mean like start the episode, like, tell our stories.
Okay.
I just have to talk about the weirdness of everything since this podcast season 2 started.
Oh my gosh.
We have to let them know. Like this has been okay. So Mom and I are obviously recording these episodes in advance. We thought that that would make our workload a little lighter if we take the summer to research, take the fall to record, and then take the winter to release and edit and introduce to you all.
Very well put, daughter.
Thank you. So we picked out our topics in
Like-
like May.
Oh, no. I mean, I had some of these topics like a year ago
Yeah, but like we actually like sat down and made our
and talked
list
about
of
it. Probably,
all.
I think it was April or May. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we wrote all the topics out. We wrote out the episodes in the order we wanted to do them and paired everything and da 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 da. So then we sit down to start recording. And okay, I wrote it down here because I knew I was going to start going on a tangent. The first, okay, so episode 2, Nicholas Rossi.
Yes.
Like we chose to start recording like 2 weeks, a week, days.
It was a week
Before his
his
hearing.
second hearing.
His sentencing, right?
Yeah.
So then, I mean, weird timing, sure. Make things a little more difficult. I mean, come on, we always work harder, not smarter. That's us.
We
so-
had no idea.
No,
I mean, we had
so
no
then we
idea
have to
about
like
this.
obviously we put the update in there because we want to put some kind of an ending to the story. I mean, keep you up to date as much as we can. So then our next episode was Amelia Earhart. This was one that took me months for research. Months. We even took a trip to Atchison. Like months of research. Finally get down to it. We record this long episode. Literally days afterwards, I
think it was 2 or 3 days.
I call Mom and I said, hello? And I said, Mom, we're effed. But I used the real word. First of all, my mom had me on speaker with her friends. That was really embarrassing. But I was like, it's all over the news. Donald Trump is releasing all the Earhart files. So hopefully I've edited that and we've made that run smooth. Or maybe we're just like, fortune tellers. Maybe we knew what
I think that's
gonna
it.
Release.
We're psychic.
So then the next episode we were going to record, we go and we set the calendar and we look at it. And Mom's like, well, I can't really do that one because that case or that hearing or whatever is happening like the week after we're set to record it. So I was like, okay, well, let's mix some things around. Well, we can't do that one because I'm supposed to go visit that place at this time. But I just think it's so weird that so far every single episode we've recorded
It's like
it's
on the docket of what's going on.
well, it's like they're making the docket based on us. Because after we record it, the media is like, oh,
They can hear us, and we haven't even released.
they're always watching. Uh, Very crazy. So I had to touch on that because it's just been bizarre and very fitting for us.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there.
Mhm.
If what we cover tonight is discussed within the next week on social media or anyplace else, I think we really have to look at what's going
Well, this isn't even like Alexa's listening to us. Ooh, oh, just
on.
all my lights just like turn off. But it's not even like, your phones listen to you or like,
Uh-huh.
you start seeing the ads. Like I was talking to my girlfriends the other day about, "Ugh, I need to get a dress for this wedding I'm going to. Where do I shop? Where do I shop?" And now my phone is filled
Yes.
with wedding guest dress ads. And it's crazy. But it's not even like, oh, oh wow, look at these new articles of Amelia Earhart. No. Donald Trump is like, I'm going to release the Amelia Earhart files. And I I just find that really weird because we've tried our hardest to not stay, I was going to say relevant. I hope we're relevant. Not stay with current events. Like we want you to tune in to Killer Hangover to just listen to our stories and kind of not be current. You know what I'm
What are
saying?
you trying to say there?
We're trying to distract you. We don't want to touch on the current events. That's not our place. We're
It's
here to
everywhere. It's everywhere
it's
anyway. So we don't
exactly.
want to be with the throngs. We want to do something different.
No, I mean, but it is everywhere. Politics sleeps and seeps its way into everything. And so we wanted to avoid all of that and we just want to entertain you. So I just thought that that was really weird, though, that the things we're covering are now becoming current. Well, as these come out, they won't be current. But anyway,
Move along.
moving on. Um, okay, well, since obviously we're recording virtually, those that are listening didn't know that was obvious, but we are recording virtually. Uh, we decided to do two different cocktails because
Yeah.
we both had to drink and we both found a cocktail that had to deal with our stories, and neither one of
Oh
us wanted to
my.
give up.
We both have to drink.
Oh,
So what did you make?
okay. I went to paper notes for this episode. So mine is called The Lost Light. We could also call it the lost ice because the ice has melted. It has melted because, well, we work harder, not smarter. Anyway, um, the lost light. I'm all tangled in my cord here. Sorry. The lost light. It is a twist of the dark and stormy.
Okay.
So it's pretty darn delicious. It is 2 ounces of dark rum. I used a half ounce of fresh lime juice, a fourth ounce of simple syrup. You can also use ginger syrup, it says, but I used simple syrup. I didn't even know they made a ginger syrup. But you do top it with ginger beer. Any drink with ginger beer is always like if I go to a restaurant or something and that's a
Moscow
specialty
Mule.
cocktail, anything with a ginger beer, I always love it. Anyway, you top it with ginger beer and then you do a dash of bitters and you pour all of this over. It says it said a tall glass with ice. I really wanted to use my skeleton hand glass. And then you just stir it all up and
And enjoy.
enjoy. And it's very tasty.
Nice. And that was called again?
Spilled all over myself. The Lost Light. Not to be confused with the Lost Ice.
Okay.
And
I
what are
also
you drinking, Mother?
I'm drinking a drink called Dance with the Devil.
Mm.
And
Mm.
This is a whiskey drink poured of
Ew.
a large ice cube. And I did have a very large ice cube in here,
You
but
have lost ice too.
it no longer exists.
Oh, so sad.
Oh. So this is made with Jim Beam Devil's Cut. I did not have that. And I'm sorry, I already have a bourbon whiskey on hand, so I use Maker's Mark instead. But it's 2 ounces of the Jim Beam, 1 ounce of the Contra,
Uh-huh.
1 ounce Contour, Contour, Contour.
Mhm.
It's
Oh
that
boy.
orange liqueur.
Okay. I
An
still
ounce
don't know, but okay.
an ounce of fresh lemon juice,
Mm-hmm.
an ounce of passion fruit. May I add here that passion fruit's not easy to find
Mm-mm.
if you live in a small town. So I got as close to passion fruit as I possibly could.
What does a passion fruit look like?
I think it has red.
Crickets.
I think it has red meat in the middle of it, and it's
It has
got seed.
meat?
That's what you call the inside of
Well,
like
that just doesn't sound right. So it's red on the inside.
it's red on the inside, I guess,
I
and
think I'm
and
picturing
it's
like a
sweet.
papaya. Well, hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Have to look that up.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's 2 dashes. I put a little bit more of Tabasco sauce.
Oh, I was
Weird.
not expecting
I
that.
know, right? That caught my attention.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
So you chill the rock glass and then you shake with ice and you strain over a large cube of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Then you garnish it. Well, that didn't happen with an orange wheel and cherry.
Interesting. With the Tabasco and whiskey? What does that taste like?
The Tabasco, I think, cuts down on the sweetness.
Right.
If I were to do this again, and I might make this again, I would add more dashes of Tabasco.
Interesting.
But it kind of hits you in the back of the throat. It's good.
It's very pink.
It must be the passion fruit that I didn't use. I used some kind
Sure.
of. It really needs to be stirred now that the ice is all melted.
Oh, you enjoy that. You enjoy that while I tell you a story.
Okay.
So we had technical difficulties starting this episode, and I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But at the same time, I am so excited to share this story that the I'm pumped up again.
All right. I'm ready.
Rejuvenation. Okay, I'm still all tangled here. This is Are we ready, class? We are going back to Scotland for this story.
Oh, you
And
just can't get out of there.
I can't. And I think in a couple other episodes, I'm going back to Scotland, if not next week's. Anyway, I was looking at all of my notes. I was like, wow, I chose Scotland a lot.
It is next week.
Is
It
it?
is next week.
Oh, man. Oh, I guess I have a type. So my husband's Italian, so that made no sense. Oh, okay. Anyway, this one is a real brain scratcher. Quote, storm ended, calm sea. God is over all. Unquote. This is the last entry made in the records kept by the three lighthouse keepers who vanished in 1900.
Ooh.
Vanished. Poof. No evidence of where or why or what happened.
Like our ice.
Well, they didn't melt. I mean, that's not even a mystery of where the ice went. Come on, Mom. Okay, before we get to the storytelling, I have to set the scene. Like I said, we're back in Scotland, but we are out at sea this time, away from the lock of poop. Okay. Gardy Lou. This curious case takes place on the Flannan Isles. It's a lonely cluster of rocks adrift in the North Atlantic, northwest of Scotland. They call them the seven, I don't know why I couldn't say that word, the seven hunters. Why? I don't
Why?
know. I don't know. I tried to find out and I got nothing. I'm sorry. But the mystery doesn't stop there. These islands have been drawing the curious and the unlucky for centuries. The first recorded story goes way back to 577 AD.
Oh my gosh.
Irish monk Saint Columba, not Columbus, but Saint Columba. I thought that was really funny. He was sailing and discovering lands, and his name was Columba.
Why is he
Anyway,
a saint?
I don't know. He's an
He's a
Irish
s-
monk.
he's a saint of what? Probably sailors. Go ahead.
Thank you. He sailed by and he saw, get this, angels hovering over the island. He thought it was a sign of purity. I'd say it's a sign to turn the boat around, but hey, who am I to question a saint? I I don't
You
know.
are not to question saints.
Hmm. The island later became home to Saint Flannan, its namesake, obviously, who built a tiny stone chapel there.
Well, there's a lot of saints floating around those islands.
This stone chapel is still there today. It's a little more like a pile of rocks, but it's there. And when I say he built a tiny chapel, I mean tiny. The lighthouse keepers later named it the dog kennel. It's very small. Over the centuries, pilgrims came to pray around the chapel, maybe because they couldn't fit in it. But yes, they prayed around the chapel.
Okay.
And they had some very, very strange rituals. They would kneel for hours around this stone chapel. But before they would get down to their knees, they would remove their hats, spin around in a full 360-degree spin clockwise, then kneel to pray. Because
Was it a
nothing,
fast spin or a slow spin?
whatever spin you want, whatever twirl you'd love to give, because nothing says divine peace like getting dizzy for Jesus. I just think that that is
One little twirl is not going to make you dizzy.
what an odd ritual. Take off your hat and spin around, now kneel down for hours to pray. Pilgrims were traveling from all over to visit this pile of rocks, this tiny chapel, removing their hats, spinning around, and then kneeling and praying. I, why? Why do they have to spin?
I don't know.
A 1703 account described it as, quote, making a sunwise turn. Yeah.
Okay.
Because clearly nothing has. Because clearly nothing bad has ever started with spinning around on a haunted rock in the middle of the ocean.
Haunted.
Even the sheep on this island are weird. Shepherds would ferry their flocks to graze here, but they would never stay overnight because they believed that supernatural beings roamed the place. There was like, it's just this eerie feeling that everybody reported, wrote about, dating so far back to when they saw angels floating above it. So they believed that the supernatural beings are roaming the place after dark. I mean, maybe they were dizzy pilgrims. I don't know. But here's the kicker: the sheep that did graze there were said to give birth to twins or would recover from an illness. So people would bring their flocks out to graze and then would take them out. They go through all this work to do that because these islands don't picture like this beautiful sandy beach island. This is like big stone rock.
Right. Must have had some grazing land, though.
Well, yes, but to get up there is there's no like beach. There's just stone rock.
Clarifying that. Who's having the twins, the sheep or the people?
The sheep.
Okay. And then what about illness?
It would cure their illness. So if the
Cure
sheep were sick.
the okay. Okay.
Okay. Now let's fast forward to 1896. The Board of Trade decides, hey, let's build a lighthouse on this definitely not cursed island. And by 1899, it's complete. So 4 men were assigned to work in rotation, 3 on, 1 off. And in December of 1900, the keepers on duty were James Duquette. He was 43 years old and he was the principal keeper. Donald MacArthur, he was 40. He was a temporary replacement. He was there covering the first assistant keeper who was out. Some say he was on sick leave, and others said that he was just he had another duty somewhere. I don't know, but he was out. So this guy was here to replace him, which kind of sucks for him. Thomas Marshall's 29, and he was the second assistant. They were all locals. They knew the weather, the tides, and such, so they'd grown up there. They were all experienced. I think Duquette had been a lightkeeper for like 21 years.
Wow. Okay.
The other lightkeepers were seamen for years leading up to being a lightkeeper, so they're very capable.
Knowledgeable.
Yes. Very experienced at this job. A steamer passing the lighthouse around midnight on the 15th of December made note that the light was not lit and reported this when they arrived to their port. Unfortunately, this news was not passed on to whoever they would need to pass this on to, but because that probably could have helped things. 11 days later,
11 days later.
11 days later, on December 26th, 1900, Joseph Moore arrives by tender ship to take his rotation. So he was the guy who was out on sick leave.
Right.
He's coming in to take on his tender ship to take his rotation. And maybe you're wondering what a tender ship is. I didn't know what it was either, so I looked it up. And it's basically a ship designed to maintain or support either another ship or a lighthouse. It brings in supplies, fuel, mail, equipment, food, anything that they might need.
Okay.
That's its job. So Joseph Moore is arriving to this island with the supplies and himself to start his shift. And as the ship is getting closer to the island, he and the ship's captain thought it really odd that there was no flag out on the flagpole. As routine called for, now I will say that Scotland had been under, I don't know if they were under a lot of scrutiny or they just decided they needed to be better, but routines and policies was a really big thing at this time. So in the last year or so, especially with this lighthouse only being about a year old at this point, they were very strict about their policies. And you'll see that later in the story when I talk about the logs that they had to keep and the details that they had to incorporate into their logs. But honestly, with that job, you have to be very diligent in
I would think so.
what you're following, the rules and the policies and the routine. And again, these are very experienced lighthouse keepers. Okay, but as policy called for, the ship sounds its horn to get the attention of the lighthouse keepers, but there's no response. The ship also fires a flare and receives no response. So the ship docks at the east landing of the island, and Joseph Moore is sent ashore. When he gets off the ship, he makes note that nothing really seems to be off on shore. Everything seems fine. Everything is where it had been when he was last there. Everything was procedure when he got off. He makes his way up the steep embankment to the entrance gate where the entrance door and the door, after all the doors are closed, so he has to unlock and open all the doors to get into the places. The kitchen door, though, was left ajar. Joseph Moore steps inside and notices how cold the building is. This is December in Scotland, so it's very cold.
Freezing. Okay.
The fireplace had not been lit for several days. Quote, I then entered the rooms in succession, found the beds empty just as they left them in early morning, unquote. There was no sign of anyone. Now, some sources said that the table was set as if ready for a meal, but I think they just said that for spook factor to add
Sure.
some fun to it. Most sources stated that the kitchen was all cleaned up, but the dishes were in the drying rack. So it's as if they had eaten their meal and cleaned up, and the dishes were in the rack. Most eerie were all the clocks inside the lightkeeper's home had stopped.
At the same time? I mean,
So that's a really good question because I was wondering that too. Sources said like all the clocks had stopped, meaning they hadn't been wound or kept up with.
okay. Okay.
Um,
So they're probably different times.
right. But then another source said there was only one clock in the house and it had stopped. But regardless, the clocks had stopped, meaning they hadn't been
Wound.
wound. Yes.
Hmm.
Moore goes back to the ship and he calls for backup. And together, men get off the ship and they come to search the island. Here are just some things that they discovered in their search over the next couple of days. The lamp of the lighthouse was in working order and was fully prepped. It wasn't lit, but it was all prepped to start or to work. The west boat landing, so the landing on the other side of the island that they had docked, had some damage to it. Upon further investigation, a lot of this damage had already been reported by the lighthouse keepers. So
Oh,
this is not
it wasn't new.
in tandem with their disappearance. This is
Okay.
not didn't happen with the disappearance. It had already happened. So there on the west landing, there was a box that had held fishing supply and ropes, and the box was gone, and there were some ropes discovered in the vicinity. So that's probably newer from wind or whatever. But the iron railing, this is what had been reported. The iron railing around the area had been broken. Some pieces were just completely missing. So that's damage, pretty big damage. But again, that was already reported in their logs weeks before.
Oh, okay.
Now, I think that this is the most curious of the discoveries. So, up at the top of this landing, at least 110 feet above sea level, there had been a life reserver, like a buoy
Hmm.
for emergencies, and it wasn't there anymore. But the ropes hadn't been cut or removed in a way that one would assume you would to retrieve the buoy. The buoy had literally been like ripped from the spot. So like it would have taken a lot of manpower to rip these ropes to get the buoy off of it. Leaving some people to believe it was like a rogue wave that came up and just
Oh
ripped
my
this buoy
gosh.
off. But like I just said, it's at least 110 feet above sea level.
Right. Or intense adrenaline.
Okay, well, rogue wave with technical difficulties. Sorry, friends. Anyway, rogue wave, 110 feet above sea level. Okay, let's chat about rogue waves and the weather there in the area. All of this is noted in the lighthouse keeper's logs. Not a rogue wave, but all the weather
Okay.
is always in their logs. It's part like, I mean, literally details of the weather, morning, afternoon, evening, everything. So talk about a checklist. You know how I love my checklists.
I
Like,
know.
oh my gosh, I could not survive without my checklists. I survive with the skylight for my family calendar with having four kids. I have to. But then I even have a paper calendar for my meals that I plan for the week. But then I also keep my daily checklist of things I need to do. And if I didn't have post-its or my checklist, I wouldn't survive. I love crossing
Things off.
things off as I do them. That's probably my favorite
They
part.
say it's very cathartic to do that.
Yes. Well, anyway, so they had to do their checklists and their logs. Again, policy, like I mentioned before, from cleaning the lens of the lighthouse, keeping track of the weather, the barometer, the barometer and thermometer readings. Jeez
Yes.
Louise. And the wind conditions. Some light keepers used it as a diary of sorts, even
Sure.
making note of their mental state, of all the men out there, like different
Mm-hmm.
tidbits. It's believed that the incident leaving the men missing must have happened sometime after breakfast and but before lunch. The breakfast had looked to be cleaned up, and all the morning tasks and the readings had been written down on a slate to be transferred to the official log.
Oh,
So the last entries in the official log were dated December 13th, and then tasks on the slate were details from December 14th
14th.
and December 15th.
Oh, they just hadn't been transposed yet.
Correct. And this included the time the light was extinguished on the morning of the 15th, as well as the atmospheric readings as late as 9 a.m. And then that was
Okay.
it.
I'm sorry, what was the date that the one guy sailed and the lighthouse was dark?
He sailed on the, oh, Mom, I threw my notes on the floor.
I'm sorry.
Let me see. It says he sailed by on the 15th.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So this next part, resources are kind of scattered on this information, and some have poked holes in the authenticity of some of this information. So take it with a grain of salt.
All right.
Apparently, some of the last logs reported, no, this is fact. Some of the last logs reported storms in the area, like huge storms. And the logs gave some detail that the men, now this is what's the feelings and like the little details, like the men were feeling frightened. Um, and I mean, although they're up in a 150-foot cliff and they're in a brand new building,
Right.
but
And the
they,
lighthouse is standing sturdy.
yeah. So, but apparently the logs said that they were frightened and morale was low. Some sources said that um, whoever was writing in the log said that Duquette was very quiet, quote, very quiet in recent days, and that MacArthur, quote, had been seen crying.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the final entries, like I said at the beginning of this, storm ended, sea calm, God is over all. So that last quote is for true, for true.
For true.
It's for real true. Like,
That's for
it's
real.
seriously like for real. But although the men reported this huge, terrifying storm, and the reports and their logs show that they had this big storm, there were no reports in the area of any storms during that time, anywhere else. So unless this was like a storm
Must have
just
been a
over this
storm
island,
within.
oh boy. Either this bad weather was localized just over the island, or maybe the men had hallucinated it, which leads me to my first theory, the fun stuff, mercury poisoning. Mercury was
Oh.
a common component in large lighthouse lenses. The
Mm-hmm.
lens would kind of float in it, and the mercury it used like a low friction rotating mechanism that allowed the heavy lenses to turn faster. The practice of using mercury in lighthouses is known to have led to chronic mercury poisoning in lightkeepers, causing symptoms like confusion and hallucinations.
Interesting.
And Duquette, what I say, 21 years. So that is a long time. The other theory is the massive rogue wave. I asked ChatGPT and I Googled how common is a rogue wave. And it said that literally both sources, all the sources that I asked, it literally was like, they're not very common, but they do happen a lot.
Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. I have known two people in my life that have been killed by rogue wave.
What?
So they're not uncommon.
But like huge rogue waves that come up like 110 feet.
No,
Like,
they were walking on the beach and the wave came and took them.
well, okay. Yeah, I
That's a
guess that
rogue
is.
wave.
I don't know. I think rogue waves are like bigger though, aren't they?
I mean,
What?
they come out of this. I mean, they
I
just
guess.
swept these people out to sea and they just drowned them.
Uh, but I'm talking like a big like
No,
wall.
and yeah, but it's still, that's really big to reach. And they'd be in the lighthouse, though, wouldn't they? So how's a
Well,
rogue wave going to grab them?
I know.
It's not
There's
like that.
evidence.
Rogue waves don't have fingers that reach
Well,
up.
if it was in the middle of a storm and then this water's just crashing up there, there's evidence in logs of waves reaching 300 feet high around the island. But even then, you're exactly right. Could have taken three experienced men by surprise, and then one without his coat. Oh, yeah. I forgot important details. When searching the lighthouse keeper's living quarters, two of the lighthouse keeper's outerwears were gone. You know, those big, like, overcoat things,
Yeah,
like they wear in the movies, and their boots. So, two big
two
coats,
of them.
two pairs of
Hmm.
boots. One was still hanging there.
Boots and all.
Hmm. So, in this
Hmm.
bad weather, why wouldn't he put that stuff on? And I mean, we're talking December in Scotland, in the island, lots of wind, rain, below freezing temperatures. Why would he go out without his coat? And like the other thing, the policy and the rule apparently was that one lighthouse keeper must always stay back.
Okay.
So they had to go out two at a time and one always had to stay back, probably for this exact reason. If you're going out and something bad happens to one, the other one can come back and get help from the other. So whenever they went out, they had to go out by pairs and one always had to stay back.
Well, that
So,
explains the coat and the boot
so,
there.
but where is he then? No, it doesn't though, because so what made that third man leave against policy and without his outerwears in the cold? Did he like hear people screaming outside, so he ran out to go help? Because I mean, even in that instance, you're like, oh, I'm a rule follower.
Why did they have to go outside?
Well, I mean, they had to go do their duties. They could have been out doing their duty, doing their duties.
Their business? Were they taking care of business?
They're doing their duties on their checklists.
Yeah, but if there's such a bad storm and 300-foot rogue waves, I think they could have put their duties off a little bit.
But that wasn't happening like those days. The temperature and the barometer readings and everything was not reading a storm anymore. There was no storm going on those days.
That's crazy.
So back to the rogue wave theory. The men were swooped up into the sea by some giant wave with fingers, like Mom said. I guess years, uh, but how can three experienced lighthouse keepers be so taken off guard that all three of them have this accident?
And what, were they all lined up there in front of the lighthouse so
Well, if
that
you
the
saw a
rogue
wave with
wave,
fingers, that'd be kind of
so the
interesting.
rogue
I would
wave
be
just
out there
came
looking
up
too,
and
but
did whoop.
I'll pick you, I pick you. But no clothing, no bodies have ever been found, leaving others to believe the only reasonable thing, something supernatural. I mean, duh. When Joseph Moore first entered the lighthouse, locals said that three giant blackbirds flew off the tower. Maybe these were the men that had been transformed as punishment for angering the island's spirits. And they did call the chapel a doghouse, a dog kennel.
So, yes, yes, that would
Maybe they
burn
were not
them
getting their
being
full
turned into
spins.
blackbirds.
Blackbirds are scary though. Crows are scary. We've been like surrounded by them recently, and they are big and they are loud.
Loud. They're very loud. And they scare other birds away.
I know. My cardinals haven't come by to eat their food. Anyway, that's a rogue wave coming in, totally changing the topic. Uh, okay. Da 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 da. It's Scotland. Ghosts and curses come with the real estate. I mean, so
Definitely.
they were totally turned to birds. Or Aliens is always a theory. I mean, centuries earlier, they had seen angels, quote unquote. So,
Angels, aliens. Wow.
how do
So
you
their
know?
spaceship could have been like a halo, a really big halo.
Maybe it was a UFO sighting before UFO sightings were so cool. And Saint Columba, whatever, sorry,
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
some say it was a giant sea creature. Now, I know I sound like a crazy person and I have a lot of people rolling their faces at me right now, but
Including your mother.
I mean, only 5% of the ocean has ever been explored by humans. How do we not know that? How do we know that there's not? Hmm? How do we know that there's not the Kraken still out there? Mermaids? I mean,
So it's a siren song now.
oh, I didn't think of that.
Duh.
Solved. Solved.
Oh, you need to tell your mother this and she would solve it for
We're
you.
in Scotland. It's the Loch Ness Monster's Aunt Deborah. It's like,
And
re-
she's a mermaid. Well, she's going to do a siren song. She's going to be a mermaid. So,
maybe, just maybe, they ate the magic grass and they became sheep
well, they're supposed to
or
be healed
crows.
from whatever.
Crows. That's what they became. The lighthouse kept running until 1971 when it was automated. The men who worked there afterward have said that the island feels very heavy,
Heavy.
oppressive. And sometimes when the wind howled, they swore they could hear the names of the missing keepers whispered in the air.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there. You're isolated on this little island with a bunch of sheep. You're going to start like,
Twin sheep.
you're just going to start, yeah, but they're all healthy. You're just going to start losing it a little bit. So the wind howls and you're going to go, "Oh, I hear the names." That's really interesting because I mean, is it a fact that these three disappeared? That's a fact.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a made up
I just
like
made up this story. Gotcha, mom.
Scottish tale.
No, it's a fact. These three men went missing. One of the
Okay.
last pictures ever taken of these men was when the superintendent of lighthouse keepers came out to visit them and they stood and there's like this awkward picture of the three men and the superintendent guy. And these were real people. They were married with children.
Do you think
No,
there's a possibility that these men, be it mercury poisoning, be it living in close quarters for so long, be it the storm or whatever, literally went a little bonkers and threw themselves off the cliff?
no bodies or clothing or anything has ever been found.
Well, the rogue wave grabbed them and
But
took them way out to sea.
I mean, I guess the ocean is there, but there's so many islands around the area. I don't,
Depending on how the current goes.
I don't know.
Interesting.
They gone though. So
They be
sad.
gone.
So sad.
Oh my gosh. With no answers. That's what's sad too.
No, give it a couple weeks, Mom. I'm sure they're gonna find something in the media.
They're
We'll hear
gonna
about it.
find their body.
I swear. And then all of these episodes that we've recorded are not, they're not gonna mean anything to anybody.
Anything.
So
Nope.
next
Our
time you get a
listeners are
call,
gonna go, so what?
Mom, we're effed. Season 2 is done. I quit. I swear.
Oh.
I'm gonna lose my mind if that happens. That would be so dumb.
It would be very, very strange. I don't know about dumb, but it'd definitely be strange.
Okay, Mom, my cocktail is about done. And
Yes.
you throw this last page on the floor. Didn't go on the floor. You have a
Okay.
story.
Obi wants to say hi, I guess.
Where is he? Hi, Obi.
Obi. Obi. It's your little
Hey there,
face.
good little Obi. Hi, you cute boy.
It's your little face. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Dance, 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 dance until you die. Who says that?
Sanderson sisters.
Winifred Sanderson in
Hocus
the
pocus.
Halloween movie Hocus Pocus, which is actually a very fun scene, but there's a lot of fun scenes in that
Oh, it's
movie.
the best. That's the best.
May I add that not all things in movies are totally made up?
Usually not.
In this particular scene, adults are at a Halloween party, listening and dancing to a band when the Sanderson sisters walk in and take the stage, and Winifred says those words.
Curses them.
She does curse them. The adults dance wildly, unable to stop until the early, I think it's like until the next morning,
Until
correct?
they die. Yeah.
Well, they didn't all die. They didn't
No,
die.
no, until the Sanderson sisters died.
I mean, they were,
They come
yeah,
out at the very end.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just dancing. Yeah. The same dance mania took place in Europe, largely through the 10th and 16th century. Although some sources say it goes back to the medieval period, may I add here that these documented episodes were not instigated by the Sanderson sisters.
Bummer. Oh man. That would have been cool.
The most documented episode happened in Strasbourg in July 1518. Now, Strasbourg at that time was a free city in the Holy Roman Empire, but now it is in France. So I've actually visited it, and I wish I had done this before I had visited it because it would have been really cool. On that day, a woman by the name of Frau Trophy danced out of her home and into the streets in the summer heat. She swirled and whirled and danced
She's
nonstop
praying.
for days, but she was not alone. Within the week, 20 to 30 of the townspeople had joined her, waltzing and thrashing through the town. And within a month, 400 people were seized with this uncontrollable desire to dance, dance, dance nonstop.
So they never stopped
No, they just
to
kept
eat
dancing.
or use the bathroom.
No, they probably just peed while they were dancing. I don't know. The town's officials were at a loss, so they turned to doctors who diagnosed the cause as hot blood.
How do you diagnose them? Are they just chasing them around with a stethoscope?
Listen to it. They have hot blood, which was
So
trapped
they're
in the
warm-blooded?
like I am. Notice I
I know.
don't have a
Mom's been
sweatshirt.
losing clothes throughout this whole episode.
So this hot blood is trapped in
Whoa,
the
we just got
dancers'
a big
bodies.
spike on YouTube for that one.
No, no. Now if it had been you, yeah, but no. Gosh, now you made me lose my
Okay,
place.
I'm sorry.
The town's officials were at a loss, so they turned to doctors already asked. The boiling blood caused the dancers to move involuntarily. The solution, the doctor said, was
Oh no.
let's help these people out and
Make them
out of
cold?
this and out of the streets. We need them out of the streets. We
Can I just
still,
ask a question?
yeah,
Are these people happy? Dancing happy? Or are they like
no,
crying because they can't stop dancing?
they're not emotional. They're just dancing. They're like in a trance. Figure it like they're in the trance.
Okay.
So the doctors say, okay, we need to, well, the politicians too, we need to move them out of our streets. Still have to carry things to the shops, and we still need these streets to get these
We
dang
need the
people.
dancers off the streets.
Yes. So let's help them out and let's clear our streets. So I know what we can do. We're going to hire musicians, and we're going to get these musicians, and they're going to play in the town center so that all the people can come to the town centers and they can just dance their hearts out while we play this music.
So is this that's like the guy who gets the snakes out of or the mice, the rat. Okay, I'm getting like 10 stories mixed up. Never mind.
Yes.
Okay.
The bagpipe or the piper of Hamel.
Sure.
Yeah. But they'd stay in town. They're just in the town center.
Just
So
dancing.
there's all these people dancing. The affected people came in droves, more and more victims, dancing until they dropped from pure fatigue.
So are these people that are dancing drawn to music then?
They're just dancing, but they wanted to draw them into
don't
the town center.
Don't want
So
to scare people
they're
away.
hearing the music now. They're following the music.
Ew, your face. That was creepy. So they're like zombies.
They're in a trance.
Boiling blood.
Now these people would either fall in a total fatigued out,
Sure.
just total,
Yeah.
or they would actually die. They'd dance themselves to death. It is estimated that about 15 people died from excessive dancing. I would think that that number would be a lot higher.
Okay, like what kind of dance? Like, are they like really dancing, or are their bodies are just like convulsing?
I
Oh God.
mean, it's called dancing, but they're like twirling, they're stomping, they're just, you know,
No, I don't
moving
know.
in erratic motions. I mean, it's not cool. Yeah, kind of dancing. It's
They don't have any rhythm. Got
they
it.
have no rhythm. No rhythm.
But if we put music by them, then the tourists coming by are gonna be like, "Oh, look at that party."
I don't want to join it. After 2 months,
Oh my gosh. You're
the Dance
kidding me.
Mania stopped.
Oh my God, they probably stunk so bad.
Just like that. Done.
Wait, just all at once, everybody was done dancing?
It stopped as soon as it started.
I just got like chicken bumps all over. That's so creepy. These people just like all of a sudden just like stop, look at each other, and just go home. That was fun, guys. See you later.
See you next year.
Oh my gosh. They had to have been cursed.
As I said, this was the best documented case. The other known cases happened in 1374 when the good people of Aachen, Germany, poured
you.
into the streets dancing and waltzing. These people did waltz because, it's Germans, uncontrollably.
Waltzing
Then,
uncontrollably.
then the mania continued hitting towns along the Rhine River.
So it started spreading
Uh-huh. Down
So
the
it's
river.
like a cult.
So,
Something in the water for sure.
if it wasn't the three pesky sisters, this, you know who I'm talking about. What was it? What caused this? Throughout history, there have been many theories, of course. At the time of the dance epidemic, it was thought that the dancers were cursed by Saint Vitus.
Another saint.
Somehow our saints this episode are not good people.
Not good people. Well, the for Columbo, he just sailed by and said, "Oh, look at those look at those aliens, angels floating over the island over there."
Yes,
The
he
other
had
one made people spin around and do weird rituals to pray around his little house. And then this one curses
Saint
people to
Vitus
dance.
was, and they were forced to dance because they had failed to appease the saint.
That's ew.
Now-
This appease the saint? That doesn't sound very
Now, in case you guys are wondering, we are Catholic and we do not appease saints, okay? We do not worship saints and we don't appease them. So I don't know where this is coming from. Saint Vitus is actually the patron saint of epileptics and dancers.
That's ironic. So that story is weird.
Because of this theory, the epidemic started being called the St. Vitus dance.
It's like
Of
the
course,
Macarena.
but it's St. Vitus. He doesn't have rhythm. Of course, there was also the theory that the epidemic was caused by the devil's dance, to wreak evil and death in the affected village. I have to drink. Another theory suggested that the toxin produced by a fungus that grows on rye caused the problem.
For people to just dance, it's in their system for 2 months and then they're done.
This fungus produces psychoactive chemicals,
Psychoactive chemicals.
ergot poisoning. It's ergot, yes, ergot poisoning, which causes spasms, hallucinations, and delusions.
So they are just
So,
literally convulsing. Yes.
mhm, mhm.
Oh
But
gosh.
this theory sits on the iffy side. There are three symptoms of ergot poisoning. The neurological symptoms include dizziness, headaches, convulsion, psychosis, and coma. The convulsions could be considered, but the other symptoms do not really contribute to great dancing moves. Okay, coma. All right. Then you have the gastrointestinal symptoms, and they are definitely not compatible with dancing.
Ew.
Okay.
That was the smelliest party
You
I've
have
ever walked by.
you know, diarrhea,
Okay,
vomiting,
we don't need to,
abdominal
Mom. I
pain,
think they
cramping.
understand. I think they
Then
understand.
there's the blood vessel symptom, which
What?
largely the blood vessel symptoms.
So they
So
look like zombies. So they
this
look
is
like
all
zombies.
this is all ergot, okay? Which largely affect the legs and feet, causing muscle pain during activity, progressing to pain at rest. Now remember, these affected people danced and danced and danced till they dropped. Personally, I don't think that muscle pain is going to help you do that. So I, with all the symptoms that are caused by
Symptoms.
ergot, I don't think
This sounds
that
like
that was.
a mental thing. This doesn't sound like it's like they lost control of their bodies.
Here's an interesting side note.
Huh.
May I add it to this
Oh,
podcast?
sure, please, let's.
Okay. It's about ergot poisoning and witches. In 1692, in Salem, Massachusetts, girls began showing unusual symptoms such as skin lesions, hallucinations, temporary blindness, and convulsions. Not knowing what could be causing the symptoms, the town doctors said the cause was bewitchment,
Mm.
which led to the townspeople to look for witches in the community and the start of the Salem witch trials. One of the theories on what caused these symptoms that the young girls had was ergot poisoning.
It's so
And
sad. That whole
that
time
sounds
period is so awful.
that sounds a lot more than the dancing thing. It's This sounds more in correlation with the ergot poisoning.
Mm.
The last theory I'll share is the one that makes kind of more sense to me. It's called
Does any of this make sense to you?
it's called mass psychogenic illness, also epidemic hysteria or mass hysteria. This is where a group of people experience similar symptoms which have no physical, environmental, or infectious cause. Instead, it comes from psychological causes, like you
Hmm.
were saying.
I solved it. I solved it a long
American
time ago.
medical historian John Waller was the first to
Beth Johnson.
express
Oh, sorry.
was the first to express this theory that psychogenic disorder caused the dance mania. And this disorder was caused by the extreme stress. I mean, this is a really hard time. People didn't know whether they were going to be able to eat. Yearly crop failures, famine, flood, the bubonic plague, smallpox, syphilis was rampant during this time.
Sounds great.
All this caused illness and starvation. Meters, meteors falling from the sky.
Meters.
Meters falling from the
Meters
sky.
ran out of change. I mean, they couldn't
So,
afford to park there anymore.
meteors falling from the sky. Peasant rebellions. Hints of an upcoming religious reformation. All of this led to anxiety, alarm, and a lot of stress.
We think our world's going to shit now.
Waller backs, we're going to all start dancing. Waller backs up this theory by stating that because of all of the stresses, the people were experiencing not only physical stress, but also psychological distress, which enabled them to fall into a trance state, something they had to be under to endure dancing from days on end. So,
And okay, so if it was poisoning, it's not like they all ate this bread the same day. So they all started and then it got through their symptoms and ended the same day.
I
That's
think I
so
pretty
weird.
much disrailed
Yeah, because they
that
like
theory.
it's literally like they just like all of a sudden the music in all of their heads just stopped and they just went back to their day-to-day stress.
Stress. And a year later, they started again.
I mean, I could not survive back in those days at all.
Well, if that's all you knew, you'd do better than what you would do if you were to
Huh?
go there today. But
So Beth cannot time travel. That's
I
just
don't
out of the
think any of
question.
us can time travel.
Well, I don't
I
know.
don't think we have the endurance. I really don't.
Maybe
So
that's what happened to the lighthouse keepers.
they danced into the ocean.
No, they time traveled.
Have you ever heard of the tarantella?
Tarantulas?
No, tarantella.
No. Wait. What? Maybe?
So I heard about this when I was either in grade school or high school and was absolutely fascinated with this. I guess that's how I got into social psych because this stuff just totally fascinates me. Anyway, the tarantella is a very fast tempo dance originating in South Italy. One story goes as follows. It was 1728 on
Oh,
a very hot day in Taranto, Italy, where Anna
Toronto.
Paluzzo,
Sorry.
not Toronto, uh, I I had to look at that and correct myself when I was reading it in my head. Anna Palazzo was working in a vineyard and was bitten by a tarantula.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I said tarantula earlier. You don't
Yeah.
see that weirdness?
Well, the tarantella kind of sounds like tarantula.
Yeah, but
So I'm just
I'm sorry, you don't think that that's weird?
no. According to the story, the young Anna collapsed. Her face and stomach swelled, her breathing became ragged, and it seemed she was on the verge of death.
That is horrible.
The other farm workers rushed her into the town to the local doctor. There was nothing he could do for poor Anna, but he did know who could. The local musicians.
WTF.
Anna was not the first victim of
Mm,
Tarantismo. Tarantismo. In fact, this region of Italy, at the heel of the boot, had other documented cases dating to the 1500s of mostly women who had been bitten by a tarantula and become unresponsive.
Why
An,
are
un-
women getting bit? Are they the
an
ones doing the work?
unresponsiveness that they could only recover from by dancing. Dancing for hours or sometimes even days. Most thought it wasn't really the spider venom that caused the women's symptoms. Rather, they were possessed. And when the music was played, the possessed person would hear it, drag themselves across the floor while on their backs.
Ew.
then turn on their hands and knees, get
Oh.
on their feet by using the wall, and start dancing with very fast tempoed music by jumping and stamping their feet, resembling the spider that had bitten them.
Ew. It's like they became Spider-Man with music.
No, Spider Man's cool. I watched a video of this, and in fact, the video will be in our show notes. It is creepy. It is really creepy. I mean, this woman now they kind of replay it. You know, they do a specific dance. This is a dance now that they do, but this is what the women, and it was mostly women, would do this. Okay, and it is creepy to watch this woman. I mean, she's not been bitten or anything, but she's
Why in God's green earth did the doctor go, I know how to cure this? Music.
dance. You have to dance like you're going crazy.
What even put that in his mind? And did it cure it? I mean, besides this weird dance that they did, would they just walk away and be like, I'm done. I'm good.
I'm better. I guess
Really?
so. Yes, I will. I will go deeper into this. So you have to watch this because it is just so
I don't know
weird.
if I want to.
It's called a Tarantismo exorcism.
Nope.
Like I said, it's super creepy. You can find the video
Sure,
on the
I'm
show
sure it
notes.
is.
It also has been noted that women would become okay. So women in those days were, they were very strict rules about what women could do, what they could say, what they could wear, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when women became depressed or like went through menopause or all that other stuff, they were thought to be a little wacky, right? We know that because men had the right to institutionalize women here in the United States
Oh,
if
yeah.
if they were,
That's where the whole witchcraft thing came in.
out of
Freaking
whack.
men.
So anyway, so these women would become depressed, stressed, anxious, hormones out of whack. They would become despondent and withdrawn. Uh, what could have caused this? Well, she probably was bitten by a tarantula. To treat and cure the problem, it was believed that a very rhythmic and fast music was to be played, and the person affected would engage in frenzied dancing. The music played for the cure became known as the tarantella, a form of music therapy that's used even today. So, up until the 1970s, people would drag these people to into this courtyard or whatever,
You drag the
and
women.
yes, women into this courtyard, drag them because they were like totally unresponsive, drag them into this courtyard and play this music, and then they would do that strange dance. Okay,
Wait, so
now
they would do this dance like just on their own? The music just brought out this dance, or they were told to do this dance, like taught
no, no,
choreography to do this dance?
no, they would just dance this dance, and I guess it was passed down, but nobody like learned how to do it. I didn't see anybody anywhere in my notes way back when that these people were learning to do it. But I mean, they would bend over backwards, and then they would. I couldn't do this, but anyway, then they would crawl, on.
Let's
They
get you
wouldn't
bitten by
crawl.
a tarantula and see what happens.
They would be on their feet and their hands, and then they push themselves up the wall, and they're just like this funky
Okay, I get it.
move. It was really
It's an
crazy.
exorcism sounding thing. Gross.
Now, I did look up the toxicity of a toxicity toxicity of a tarantula bite because I knew that you'd be grossed out by this.
I know. Why do we have to talk about him?
Basically, you will not die or even
No,
get sick
you just have to
from
dance
the
and you'll be
bite.
fine.
The bite hurts, but the spider's venom is not enough to cause harm to a human. By nature, their venom is used to kill small prey like insects for their dinner. Now, this is a quote from zooawesome.com. If a tarantula does bite you, here's what might happen.
I'm like getting like there's something crawling on me. I hate this.
There's a pain like a bee sting or a wasp sting. Those do hurt.
Yes.
Redness and swelling happens in 87 to 92% of the bites. Muscle cramps in about 15% of cases, mainly with old world species, and I'll tell you what that is.
Musty.
Duration, the pain usually lasts 2 to 8 hours. The Journal of Venomous Animals and Toxins reports that serious reactions are very rare. Out of about 1,200 reported bites worldwide each year, less than 2% need hospital care. So, tarantulas are divided into two categories. The New World, that's North America and South America. Their venom is not high, and these spiders would rather run from you than bite you. And in the exotic animal world, tarantulas are becoming very popular for people to have. So, but these again are not, I mean, their venom is so very low, they can't hurt you. So if you see somebody holding a tarantula, a hairy big spider, it's not going to hurt you. I think tarantulas are cute, but you know. Then
No.
you
I
have,
always think of Home Alone, that movie when they the tarantula,
yeah.
the scream that he gives out. That's the best. That part is so funny.
Then you have the old world tarantulas, and those are in Africa and Asia and Europe.
Those are the ones I want nothing to do with.
These have a higher venom and are more likely to bite than see anybody as a threat. But they're sorry. They're more likely to bite anything that they see as a threat.
Got it.
Where the New World will just run.
What about the tarantulas in Australia? Don't they have like a lot of,
Again, they won't.
they're mid-world. They're not old
They're
world or new
mid-world.
world. They're
Yeah.
mid-world. Middle Earth.
They're Middle Earth
Got it.
spiders. The ones that hang around with Frodo and Bilbo.
I mean, there's like a lot of spiders there. Like there's like a lot of bleh there. Sorry.
Going back to tarantulas, the black widow and
Coming
the
back
brown
to current day.
the black widow and the brown recluse are much more likely to cause problems than a tarantula.
I have a funny story. So my son got bit by a spider visiting my mom's house actually. And we get back and he had a bite and so I started treating it, but it just like kept growing and I was like, okay, that looks like a brown recluse. So I took him to Children's Mercy and we get treated. It's a brown recluse bite. They had to like it was pretty gross, pretty bad.
It was nasty.
But the moment the doctor came in and goes, "Yep, that's a spider bite," he kind of like sat up, was kind of looking at me funny. And then the doctor leaves and he gets up and he's like doing this weird move. I was like, "Nolan, what are you doing?" He goes, "It's not working. I'm not Spider-Man." How old was he? He was probably 4 or 5.
Not even. I think he was a
Oh
little, he's always loved
oh,
Spider-Man.
he's always loved Spider-Man, but he was so excited he got bit by a spider.
And then so disappointed.
And so, I mean, he was crying. He was so disappointed he could not shoot webs out of his wrists. But yes, it was a brown recluse, whatever. Dumb.
And thank
Scary,
goodness that it
scary.
healed the way it did, because
He's got a
those are
nice scar there, but
those are
yeah,
nasty, nasty
it
bites.
like starts eating the skin. It just, everything starts being eaten away. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. When
Poor
I worked
baby.
as a PT um, in the hospital, I had a patient that had been bitten in the tobacco field by a brown recluse in his on his leg. And I tried my hardest. We had to treat it most every day, but he had to come in to physical therapy and we had to treat it. but he ended up losing his leg.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Um, it was nasty. I mean, I had to treat this open wound that just kept.
Oh, I mean, I remember how bad Nolan's was, but I'm so happy we brought him in and got it
Yeah.
taken care of, and it
Yeah.
didn't get any worse than it did. Ugh,
Yeah.
poor baby.
So I will close my episode with this reminder. If you're ever bit by a tarantula, just dance. Dance. Dance.
I mean, I think dancing just solves anything. It's like
Everything.
Meredith Grey. I mean, she had a bad day and she just would dance. Tequila and
Seriously.
dancing.
Seriously think about this. Can you dance and still be sad and upset?
No, I mean,
Can
dancing
you
is
be
the
upset
best.
and dance? I don't think so.
But Mom, these people were like zombies dancing. Like, I don't know if they were upset or happy, or that's why I asked. Were they like smiling and having a good time? Or were they just
No, no,
like,
no. They're in a trance.
no, it's weird. That's creepy. I'm picturing like the Walking Dead zombies like dancing, but like not really making eye contact with you. Oh, that's like nightmares. And then there's a bunch of tarantulas underneath them. This is the visual is perfect.
Dance, dance, dance. I don't know. I love to dance, so
Oh, I love to dance. My
that's.
all my children love to dance. Actually, tonight
You just had a dance
we just had
party.
a rave. The kids found these glasses that like light up, and yeah, turned off all the lights and they had their sunglasses glowing. We just had a rave upstairs. We
That's so
did.
cool. That's so
And
cool.
then Evelyn headbutted me on accident. We were just dancing. I got a little too close. She really likes to dance. I mean, she puts her whole body into it. And she just came forward and just right in the lip, headbutted me right in the lip. But,
Ouch.
oh, Mama, I'm so sorry. You okay? Are you okay? Okay, let's dance. All right, girl. I'm good. Thank you. Kids love to dance. They love music. We have it on all the time in our house, but it's like happy dancing. Like we are choosing to dance. Like
No.
we're not
Well, I'm
zombies
not
dancing.
allowed to dance in my house any longer.
No, your dog attacks you if you dance.
So maybe he must know something. He doesn't want me to
Mom, don't
zone out and
dance.
go into a trance. I need you, Mom.
Somebody
You
needs
can't
to
leave.
walk me and feed me.
You can't go into a dance trance.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Oh,
Well, a dance trance. Sorry, that's
you
funny.
just got it.
I'm tired. That
Oh,
was a lot of information to take in at 10 o'clock at night. 10:30. Oh, yay.
oy, oy.
Oi, oi. Drink
Well,
gone.
I
I
have
did
one.
open a beer
I did have one. I have one sip to cheer you with.
to cheer me. I'll cheer you.
To cheer you with.
That was
Fun.
another good one. Yeah,
It was just fun.
I know. I'm
No
so
true
happy.
crime, just a bunch of fun.
Honestly, that was a well-needed, no real depth. I
Don't have to
swear.
put your thinking caps on this time.
Just use your imagination. Figure out why
3 men disappeared, vanished into thin air.
what to do when you get bit by a tarantula. Use your
Dance.
imagination. I feel like that's what that doctor did. Just used his imagination, pulled that one out of his
I
rear
don't
end.
know what to do.
Play some music. Everything should be just fine. All right. Well, episode 4,
Episode 4.
season 2 in the books.
All right.
Cheers, Mama.
Clink. I love you, kid.
This has been Killer Hangover Podcast, an original production, written, produced, and designed by yours truly. All of our amazing music that always sends shivers down my spine was thoughtfully crafted by Dangerous Schmidt. And the other thing that gives me those chicken bumps, as we say, is you guys. Big love and huge thanks to all of our listeners. You truly make these hangovers possible. If you liked the episode, do us a favor. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you want to get in touch, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Killer Hangover Podcast, or shoot us an email at killerhangoverpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, stay safe, lock your doors, drink some water for that hangover, and call your mom.